I know, you've been waiting for this. Join me, Daniel Renee, as we sit down and spill the secrets behind your favorite scents. Why do we all chase that perfect scent? What makes one fragrance timeless and another instantly forgettable? This is the Café Lattafa podcast. We'll speak to the creators, the chemists, the culture shapers to uncover the how, the why, and the what were they thinking behind every blend. This is more than perfume, it's power, it's personality, it's the unsaid that speaks first and lingers long after you've left the room. Fragrance isn't just what you wear, it's how the world remembers you. Born in the heart of the Emirates, but created for the entire world, this is Café Lattafa. Class is in session. You're going to want to tune in for this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Daniel Renee and welcome to another episode of Café Lattafa. Except this episode, we are sitting in the Atelier du Parfumeur in IFF in Grasse, France, joined by none other than the VP Senior Perfumer, Pascal Gaurin, and of course, Mr. Lattafa himself, Abdurrahim.
Thank you.
I really want to say thank you to you both for not only joining me, but for allowing me to be such a part of this whole process in this day. This is a beautiful moment. I will never forget this.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Thank you.
How many years have you known each other?
Since 8 years, 6 years?
Yes, 6-8 years.
6 to 8 years.
Yeah.
I mean, and having spent a couple of days with both of these gentlemen, I can tell you that there's a brotherly love, this very beautiful friendship between you two. Was it always that way?
Always.
Yeah?
Ever since I first had met him.
And when you met, was it an immediate, let's create fragrance? Or did you meet by happenstance? Or did you meet with the sole purpose to create a fragrance for Lattafa?
So I went to IFF's office a couple of years ago. That was the first time I met him. And I was meeting every perfumer there. And so one of the perfumers that I had a meeting with was Pascal. And he had to create fragrances for us. So obviously that started the connection.
Yeah.
But then the more I met him, the more I knew. And that kind of, got us to where we are today. The way we connect with each other is definitely through many years of meeting and talking and getting to know each other. It's not just instant.
I also feel like when you're creating anything, I come from the music industry, but in perfumery, I've come to understand that it's the same. You end up bonding when you are making a bébé with someone. You end up, bonding with the person, the creator, the perfumer, the whole process, and everyone involved. It becomes kind of a family, no?
Correct.
Yeah, correct. And to me, I think anybody in a creative field has their creative way and their process to achieve what they need to achieve. I'm very bad, for example, at brief. Like receiving a brief from me doesn't speak to me. What speaks to me, the person in front of me. So to me, I could receive the same project given by two different people, and I'm gonna receive it in a very different way. And sometimes it's not just talking about, it's just having a discussion. It has happened for us in the past where we're just having a random discussion about topics that are not even related to fragrance, but it gives me a sight about his about his personality, about the way he sees the industry, about the way he talks about fragrance, about the way he talks about emotion, and to me this speaks louder than a brief. So it's an understanding and having that emotional connection and complicity in a way that to me is the best tool to create a fragrance, because there is that sense of partnership and that sense of special moment.
What was the first creation that you guys gave birth to?
Badilud Honor and Glory was the first fragrance that
you
we created.
had told me.
Yes.
You had told me to mention you. So he had told me when we're doing the interview, mention Honor and Glory because there's something that you wanted to share with the class.
Yeah, of course.
That we don't know.
So again, one of our trips to New York, they had bought pastries from this very famous bakery in New York. And so each perfumer was given the job to create a fragrance behind the pastry, but in a more perfumistic way, not a very gourmand way, but a more perfumistic way, but taking some elements of those pastries. Do you remember that?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're sitting on the table, so we would take a bite of the pastry and then smell the fragrance. And so that was one of the first fragrances that he created for us. It was around a pineapple creme brulee dessert that was so delicious. The thing that I like about that fragrance is that we use LMR's turmeric absolute, correct?
Yes, correct. From the roots.
From the roots, the turmeric roots, absolute. And then
Wait, is that a natural?
it's a natural ingredient.
What?
Yeah. And
There's natural turmeric.
Yes, it was actually a very interesting moment because it was a product from LMR coming from a line of product called upcycled product. And the reason why we're calling that upcycle is because, so LMR, to put a little bit things in perspective, LMR, it's this company called Laboratoire Monique Remy. And Laboratoire Monique Remy are dedicated to giving perfumers the best natural in the world using cutting edge technology, and coming on a regular basis with new technology to new way of extracting product, and that line of upcycle is one of them. And it was brand new actually at the time, because what they do is they take product that are usually discarded, and because they are used in other industry, like the turmeric is used in the food industry.
Correct.
so I guess you obviously take the roots.
Yes, so we're using either the leaf or the root that are usually discarded. And in this case, it was the root. We had both product brand new, but the root we thought was closer to actually what you see when the way you can use it in food and the way it smells and everything. So
That's the one.
and actually it was at the time
Beautiful.
we used it for that creation because it brought something and it was brand new. So it was also an opportunity to use a brand new product.
And I'm very proud of this creation because Lattafa was one of the first ones to explore turmeric root extract.
Well, I don't think it's a very known thing that Lattafa actually uses naturals.
Well, Honor and Glory has about a dozen natural in it. So
In the one fragrance.
yes, in one fragrance. I mean, clearly Murain is
I'm sorry. A dozen naturals
yes in Honor.
in honor and glory.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, personally, I feel that the fragrances should have both naturals and synthetics to keep a good balance. I don't think an all-natural fragrance can be wearable. I mean, it can be wearable, but then it has a lot of complications and it might be more harmful rather than, just by claiming it natural doesn't mean that it's safe. So I think that...
Nor does it guarantee that it's going to smell the best of that
Correct.
ingredient or that note.
Correct. So whatever the fragrances have been launched in the past, not only from Lattafa, from other brands, there's always a good mix of naturals and molecules and synthetics. I mean, it's just, they go hand in hand together.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's you can't. I mean, I think one of the biggest misunderstanding or misconception of the all natural. There is no debate between the synthetic and the natural. There is not. It's not even. It shouldn't be even a conversation. It's pretty much two product that goes hand in hand. They are complementary from each other. There is certain product you cannot have as natural extract. Period. So and there is others that if you use you can only use in a small quantity for regulatory reason or so it's not they are very complementary from each other. And I don't even remember the time. I mean, I've always used both products in my formula. It's not even relevant to have that conversation. So to me, yes, and it depends what you're doing. If you're doing the type of product you are doing, the type of direction or olfactive area you're covering.
Well, I think what happens, right, is that on social media, we are thrown a lot of misinformation first, and then also this is I think why you decided to do Café Lattafa, to maybe shine some light on what actually goes into the fragrances from Lattafa, because I didn't until very recently, like a moment ago, realize that Honor and Glory had one natural, let alone 12.
Yeah.
So then at what point do we ask as a community that buy all the Lattafas and collect them, we love them and we use them. How is it possible? Because in my mind, right, and I'm sure I'm not the only one at home that's sitting there watching this going, how are they using naturals? But the pricing of Lattafa is not the $500 price tag. Is there different levels, is my question, of naturals? Are there more expensive naturals to where you have turmeric in honor and glory and natural, but is there more expensive turmeric and then less expensive turmeric?
No, it's not. I mean, it's not a black and white type of situation. You have very, very expensive natural, obviously.
Well, yeah, of course.
And you have natural that are not that expensive. And you have synthetic that are very expensive.
Yes.
And some that are not, because in some synthetic, it requires the starting materials is expensive because it's transformation. The steps are expensive in order to achieve the final product.
And it takes years.
And it takes years, and it's investment that are, I mean, you have to understand it's also a lot of product. Any new molecule that comes out of IFF is patented. So that means it's protected. Yeah, right. It's exactly. It's patented, it's protected, and it's investment that are worth millions of dollars. So clearly there is an impact on the cost. But it's also to protect, to have all the safety measures and everything. So it is, once again, there is no such thing as one is more precious than the other. It's different because the labor behind it is different. When you look at what LMR does in terms of, in order to get their natural and how they achieve that and the process to achieve it, because it's not just we go there, we take the harvest and thank you very much, see you later. It's
not?
No, I mean, it's not. It's and it's the reason why I love what I do, and I love the industry we are in, and I love the partnership we have with companies like Lattafa, because we are all on the same. We all have the same vision of what we are doing and the impact it has. And just to give you example, I mean, most of the LMR really works very hard to have like for life certification, for example. And the for life certification is key in what they are doing. Because the for life certification gives you the kind of commitment to, you have to prove in order to have that label, you have to prove the impact you have on the community, the positive impact you have on the community.
Like what, for example?
Like, for example, when it was in, like for the Vetiver, for example, in Haiti, the impact they have on the community in terms of they were able to create schools, to bring water to certain village, so it's really a huge positive impact, and you have to prove that. It's not just, we do that. You have to prove it. And like if you take vanilla, for example, in Madagascar, the organic vanilla that is being harvested through the Havana organization in Madagascar, this is something that impacts over 600 families. So for me, I mean, I know that people focus on, our product, I'm not my product, but for me, it's more than that. I think I'm extremely proud of what LMR and IFF does to not just in the realm of fragrance, and I think we're extremely proud of the partnership we have with, companies like Lattafa, because of the impact we have on people's life, and not just that today's life, their tomorrow's life, and the impact we can have on on the generation to come. Yes. And this is something to me that really, really matters for me at the end of the day, because I know that I'm very much aware that my fragrances when I'll be out of, business, they will be at some point forgotten. I can look at myself in the mirror and say that we impact the companies that I've worked for had a tremendous impact on people and on their children and on this. And to me, this is more valuable than anything else.
I mean, the fragrances do impact people when they wear them, and they feel. But then there's a bigger picture behind what goes into this. It's impacting families, creating jobs, providing food. It's a bigger picture. So you have to.
Right. I think the consumer buys a fragrance and they like how it smells, and that's pretty much it. Mm-hmm. Some people do think about the process that it took, the ingredients that went into the fragrance, and the families that are affected by us purchasing that fragrance and you making it using those ingredients that were brought from the families that are doing everything to create good quality of what that we end up just spraying and smelling good with. And
I'm
there's
gonna
really a
push
lot
that-
more than that.
I'm going to push that even one step further. I think what people don't realize is, for example, when we use, let's say, I'm making a floral fragrance, right? And I'm using a tuberose absolute from India.
Okay.
And I can tell you, I've been to the harvest of tuberose in India, in the field.
Take me.
It's incredible to see it. I mean, you cannot watch the field of tuberose and people hand-picking the flower.
Wow.
Without having like
Emotions. Yeah, of course.
it's impossible. And what people don't realize, it's even if I'm putting in a drop of absolute tuberose in the fragrance, if you buy that bottle and you give it to someone, it's not a fragrance you give. It's like, imagine like
It's all
bouquet
the
of
families that pick
hundreds,
them
and it's hundreds of flower in one drop. It's hundreds of flower that I'm giving to you. So
it takes hundreds of flowers of tuberose in order to give you a drop?
it gives way more than that. I'm going to give you an example that because I like to use that because to visualize what it is.
Okay.
I brought something to you that I'm going to show to you. This
Was that just hiding back there?
it's a surprise. So this is 1 kilo of tuberose absolute from India, from Laboratoire Monique Rémy.
Okay.
That's
Wow.
1 kilo, right? In order to do this 1 kilo, you have to harvest 6.7 tons
Oh, come
of
on.
flowers.
What does that look like? The size of
Petals.
this building?
It's literally a mountain of flower. So that's what it takes in order to get 1 kilo of flower. And it's the impact it has, because this is, of course, it's renewable. It's it's not, once again, it's not we're just coming and it's renewable. It's a huge long-term investment and everything. So I love the idea that we are basically, by the work we do, but what we do, we're having fields of tuberose that are in the countryside in India. And for me, that is this. It's speaking louder than words. So it's literally putting your money where your mouth is.
You didn't have to, thank you.
No, that's not going to happen. So,
Damn it. So I'm assuming that because now you've told me that this is the natural turmeric, does that mean that all the little bottles are naturals?
That's correct. So all of these are naturals that have been used in the products that you see in front of you.
Yara Candy has a natural.
That's correct. Yara Candy has a natural called green mandarin oil. A couple of years ago, LMR had introduced a citrus heart collection of orange, mandarin, and other citruses as well. And we fell in love with the green mandarin oil. Natasha worked on it along with Pascal, and it was just the right time to use that, to bring that fizziness, that a little bit of that sparkle, a little bit of that sour candy feeling.
That's crazy.
Because the green, if you smelt it, you get a little bit of that zing that it has, which fit perfectly with the project, because we didn't want a regular fruit for a candy. We wanted something more citrus and something more juicier.
A little tart.
A little tart. And that's the reason why we went for that in this particular fragrance. And then you can also explain some more.
I mean, I think it's what was very interesting in that development. It's because, I mean, when you talk about natural, it's and that's where it comes actually together. It's fruits. There is no real fruit extract because it's water based. So there is no real fruit extract. So it might actually change in a few years when working on
technology or something. Yes.
But citrus are very important because to give you that juiciness. And quite frankly, there was something that was also very interesting. It's the combination. Abdurrahim used the word fizziness, and it was interesting because at the time we had also a new R&D product, so patented captive product called Crystal Fizz, and that product is mixed with the citrus, the green mandarin, and there is two hearts, that is the tangerine heart and the orange heart. So that combination of complex citrus with the crystal fizz give you that pop, give you that fizziness that you have in that fruit, and that very colorful and joyful.
So when you say heart of the orange, what do you mean heart?
So one of the big particularity of citruses is their volatility. So we use that to our advantage when we work on fragrances, because it gives you that burst on top, and it also carries the rest of the fragrance because of the evaporation. But here, what we are also looking at, what LMR was trying to do with that collection, is to allow that citrus note to last longer in a fragrance, so that to have that feeling of citruses long-lasting.
Throughout the journey.
Exactly. So they use that technology in order to focus, basically, if you want, on the heart of the citruses. So to make the most volatile part disappear and just focus on that part. So it's almost like it's a 30-time concentrated version of citrus. So yes, it is much more expensive than regular citrus, but you don't need to use that much because it's so powerful, and you have that effect that lasts in the fragrance. So when that collection appeared and when we had that project for Lattafa, it was a perfect scenario. It was a perfect platform to showcase those products.
This ability.
So the green mandarin was there, and we use it like it's a regular citrus, but it has that green particularity. It was brand new also in the collection. And then we use the tangerine heart and the orange heart to kind of amplify that juiciness and that fizziness. And we were just actually at the time receiving from R&D a brand new patented molecule called crystal fizz. So the combination of the crystal fizz with the citrus give you that fizziness, that sparkling and
effervescent almost.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what actually the first time we smelled that with that meringue, we were like, wow, okay, that's different.
Yeah, because to me, Yara Candy is a sweet candy-ish, but it's more fruit, and that citrus, now it makes sense. It also is one of the longest lasting fragrances, and I feel like we can agree on that. I think the world agrees with that. Yara Candy, you spray it in the morning and it lasts pretty much all day, which is hard. I don't claim that very easily.
And actually, talk about natural. The fact of using natural blackcurrant give you that effervescence. So you have the natural blackcurrant from LMR that come from Burgundy, actually.
How many naturals do you say roughly are in?
I think, I mean, top of my head, I would say probably 6, 7, something like that.
That's crazy. I don't think anybody knows that.
Yeah.
I didn't, and
There is Davana, actually. There is a Davana because Davana, the particularity of Davana, it gives you that natural fruitiness. Davana is not a fruit, but it gives you that plummy...
An image, right?
Yes, it gives you that plummy, fleshy type of fruit effect.
So let me just go through all the naturals. I mean, some of the naturals we've used in, obviously, these fragrances contain more than one, but then let's say the Yara has the E-line. That is the most prominent natural that it has. The Yara Candy, as we discussed, has the green mandarin. The new Asad Elixir has the...
Don't go there yet. Let's not even talk about that yet, because we're going to get to that one now.
Okay. So do you want...
Okay, keep going. No. Keep going.
Patchouli Absolute, Orange Flower Absolute, correct?
Orange Flower Absolute, yeah.
And then obviously we discussed about the turmeric. Then you have the vanilla bean and the Asad bourbon. And then we have the Devana and the tuberose, which are the most prominent ones in Petra. And then we have the ginger in Dynasty. And my favorite natural LMR ingredient is the cocoa shell resonite.
So, and which is another upcycle. That means we've discovered, the LMR had the cocoa absolute that is really the extract from the cocoa bean itself.
Oh my God.
But what they discovered with that one, it's that actually the shell itself that is usually discarded.
Is actually
when you
the most
smell
fragrant.
the shell, it's not the most, but it smells like dark chocolate.
Yeah.
So we're like, why are we throwing that away?
That almost smells. It's interesting because when I first smelled the Give Me Gourmand line, I'm a huge chocolate lover, and patchouli, by the way. Yeah. But when I first smelled it, the first thing I told Mr. Lattafa was that it smelled like actual baker's chocolate. Yeah. Which is almost a little bitter. Yes, absolutely chocolatey. Yes, absolutely sweet, but almost a little bitter, strong, but yeah.
So this is delicious. A treatment of the shell, where the cocoa bean absolute is a treatment of the bean itself. That's the shell that is usually discarded, and it's phenomenal. And that's an upcycle product.
How does one figure out to I think we should play around with the chocolate shells today. How does one even get there? You know what? I don't know. Maybe that's another episode, but yeah, we'll get there. So, let's touch on the two new bébés to the Yara family and the Asad family.
Yeah.
All right. First, by the way, I'm already wearing Elixir. I took bottles yesterday. Don't say anything. This is literally my favorite Yara. Now, let's talk about this first. Talk to me about it. What's the natural in it? Where did the inspiration come from? Talk to us about it.
The most prominent naturally used in the Asad Elixir is the patchouli, and he can explain about the patchouli used in this, the quality and what it brings to the fragrance. So, Pascal.
Well, yeah, I mean, we have the same thing in a patchouli. We're lucky because depending on what you want to achieve, we have different type of patchouli. So it really depends what your goal is. So you will have patchouli that are a little bit more earthy. We have patchouli that are molecular distillation, so they bring a different element, and we have also patchouli art. So same thing that what I mentioned.
Which is expensive.
Which is more expensive for one reason is because the patchouli art, it's what we call a fraction. So fraction mean you look at the whole line of the ingredient, meaning and the extract itself. And there is always part that you don't want to have, that are not there for the benefit of the odor. So you're getting rid of this and you are focusing your extraction on the heart, on the part that is really the most important part, which in the case of patchouli is the patchouli lull. That's what you are trying to focus. So when you use a patchouli heart, of course, it's more expensive because it's the heart of the product, but the effect is different. So there is not one that is better than the other. It's what's my goal.
What your end result is, right? What you're trying to achieve as a perfumer. And then Yara Elixir, I feel like people immediately are going to think it's just a stronger Yara. It's not.
Mm-hmm. That's the orange flower, absolutely.
Oh my God.
From Morocco.
If you know anything about me, my obsession with orange blossom and orange flower and anything neroli and even citrus related, I'm all about it.
It's a powerful.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It's incredible. I mean, you can't, even after 30 years, I can't get used to it. It's just,
you don't.
It's just phenomenal. It's just it's so beautiful. It's incredible that you to be able. So lucky to be able to play with product like that.
That's the patchouli oil from Indonesia.
It's another one that I'm taking, and they don't know that I'm taking.
Yeah, and we have different quality of orange flower. We have some that come from Tunisia, some come from Morocco.
Why does this almost smell chocolatey? Some patchoulis actually smell chocolatey, no?
Yeah, because there is an earthiness that is similar to the cocoa bean.
I have an interesting question for you.
Yeah?
Why do you think consumers, we touched a little bit about this last night in dinner, why do you feel that the words patchouli or rose or incense or metallic accords and notes, why do you feel like someone who walks into a store and looks at the notes and they're immediately like, oh, I don't like patchouli. But if you didn't tell them that it was in there, maybe they would like it. Why is that fear there?
I'm assuming it's from past experiences when certain fragrances might have been a little bit too patchouli and they probably didn't enjoy them. Triggered and kind of, set this notion in their mind that any patchouli or any rose fragrance that comes out, we're not going to like it.
Right.
I personally think it's not the right way to look at things because there are so many beautiful patchouli fragrances, like you mentioned, that people probably, when they smell, they love it, but then they don't know that there's patchouli in it. It all depends on how much you use and what qualities we use. Obviously, it determines the level of patchouli or the level of rose that we use. And if we use it, like, for example, we have the Badil Oud Noble Blush, right? The rose, there's a rose in it. Then how do you make it in a smarter way to basically have people accept rose fragrances in a new way? So you make it gourmand, you make it milky, you make it, you keep the petally part of the rose rather than the green geranium aspect of it. You combine it with ingredients that people are more comfortable with, and that's how you start introducing them and to those ingredients where they go like, okay, this is a rose, but then I like it. So then they start, getting used to it, and then they start liking it.
Right.
At the end.
Well, listen, I was one of those where my mom wore the most beautiful, elegant florals. My mother was very big on fragrance, but I never wanted to wear a gardenia ever in my life because she wore all the gardenias. Now I want all the gardenia, the tuberose, the lang lang. I want all the florals. I want them. I love them, and I love to find different ways of layering. Why do you feel like sometimes maybe if you're getting a brief and somebody says, I want no patchouli, give me no patchouli. No, have you ever been in a situation where maybe you put it in and maybe had them experience it and later said, I added a little bit?
Oh, constantly. Yeah, of course, because at the end of the day, I'm not, and this is something, and this is why I enjoy in the relationship we have. He knows I'm going to basically, he's going to challenge me, and I'm going to challenge him on certain preconceived idea that we have.
Cool.
So it's just pushing the boundaries. So yes, of course, you're going to have people. This is a point where you have to, the amount of time when you have people that say, I don't like, patchouli, but they don't really know what patchouli smells like, or they don't really know what tuberose or
different,
jasmine. Yes,
right.
Of course. So, but this is okay. This is not, they're not supposed to. But I think part of the for us of our job is to make them, it's to tell a story. We are storyteller. That's what we are. And I'll use whatever I need to use.
There you go.
To tell the story. And if it's not about which ingredient I like. What ingredient I like is irrelevant. If it's useful in the story we are telling, I will use it to its best advantage because it's gonna showcase the story.
Right.
Yes. And at the end of the day, the story you remember. Then why do you care about the ingredient that is being used? So for me, that's what the story is way more important than the word itself.
And this is why he is who he is.
Correct.
Literally. Where do you both see fragrance going in the next few years? Fragrance has blown up on social media, in the world. I think people are getting so courageous with their choices. People are collecting more. Where do you both see fragrance going?
You start?
You are Mr. Lattafa. You go.
It's not going anywhere. I can tell you that. You mentioned yesterday about people collecting, sneakers, collecting other stuff. And I believe, I agree with you that, fragrance is something that people have started to collect.
Right, because what I said was that at some point in history of beauty, whether it's hair, makeup, shoes, clothing, purses, belts, wallets.
There is an influx at a certain period of time.
At some point, it becomes, I like this purse, I want 10 of them. Wait, I have 10 of them, I want 20 of them. That becomes a normal to people who find the pleasure of collecting things and purchasing things that we love. And it's a very personal journey, right? Some of us are crazy like me, and I have 6,000 bottles. And then there's other people that are I'm going to have like 10 of my favorites. I'm going to have and tomorrow I'm going to treat myself to something,
But it isn't like how it used to be. Like there used to be one signature fragrance or maximum 2 that they used to have in their collection and keep rotating for many, many years now. And it also it's also a result of the amount of products that are being launched every year. It's increasing from, you have the niche brands, you have the prestige brands, the designer brands, and then you have the Middle Eastern brands that are constantly pumping out fragrances, and social media has changed a lot of the perception of people as well. So I think it's here to stay, and it's going to be growing and growing for the next many, many years to come.
I feel like fragrance is an expression, right? It's a personal expression of how we feel that day. And
we mentioned in an earlier episode, it's your identity. It's your olfactive identity card.
Literally.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. And every day you can be a different person.
Literally, no, but that's true.
Yeah.
It sounds funny, but it's absolutely right.
I think we know today also, I think the role of fragrance, we know more about that. I think IFF has done studies on hundreds of thousands of people to collect data. And what we know today, we know that about 87% of people are not just looking into fragrance.
He's a factual guy.
I like it.
I have a lot of imagination, but I also base my imagination on fact. We know today that 87% of consumers want fragrance with additional benefit. That's a fact. So it's super important to be able to bring those benefits, because if you're just looking, we want to tell story, but we want to tell stories with benefits. And people are looking for that and are asking for that. So you have to listen to what they want as well. And the work that we are doing right now, and the work that IFF has been doing for the last 30, 40 years, is to collect data regarding colors, regarding texture, regarding well-being, regarding all those factors into raw materials, into fragrances, to better understand what you can do. So in order to design with purpose, in a way. So what I mean by that, it's we have today 5 billion data points that have been collected. Yes, billions of data points that have been collected through consumer research, over 100,000 of consumer research. So it's a very long investment. We have 60 people, PhDs in psychology, statistics, neuroscience that have been involved, all internal, that have been involved in those studies. So it's a huge amount of data. Yes, for data. So today my job is also to take that into account. Meaning I have access to the data when I build a fragrance, and I'm able to push certain level because I know certain raw materials. Yeah. So you design knowing that this raw materials is going to push this kind of color, this kind of texture, or this kind of mood is going to be influenced by the usage of those materials in certain proportions. So this is also the beauty of the evolution of the job of being a perfumer today. It's this amount of information that I'm having now. It's almost like going from black and white to color. You see what I mean? It's an amplification. It's what amplification did to music, in the 50s or TV.
Black and white to color.
Yes, exactly. So to me, I hear people talking about AI in a way
analogy. Oh my God.
But to me, this is a great tool for us, because our AI tools are being designed with perfumers to help us do our job and to help us give consumer what they want and to target better what we're trying to do. So I think this is going to have also a huge impact.
How this whole career began for you? Did you always know that you wanted to be a perfumer?
No, it's not something that I even could possibly consider when I was younger. The only thing I knew I needed to be in the field of creative field. That's something that personality-wise was something that I was aiming for. It just happened that perfumery came in my life at a moment, just reading and discovering what it was, and did my own work and realized what I needed to achieve in order to have a shot at getting in the industry. And I followed the path that was recommended for me at the time. And I was lucky to meet the right people at the right time, like it often happens. And I was very, very lucky to meet people that believed in me, probably more than I believed in myself. And that helped me to build, the career that I had.
I think it's special that you just said that you had people surrounding you that believed more in you than you believed in yourself.
Yes, I strongly believe that any career you need to surround yourself with people that are way smarter than you.
At what age did you begin the professional process of going to school? Or
I went to study science and chemistry in order to get into the school in Versailles, in ZIPCA. And so it took me a few years to achieve that. And I was lucky to be one of the few ones that were accepted in the school. And after that, I was also lucky to meet a fantastic mentor when I was in school that had a huge impact on my future career, which was Pierre Bourdon when I was in school.
None other than...
and then after that, IFF hired me right after school and sent me to Hong Kong first. So my first assignment was as a junior perfumer in Hong Kong. And then from Hong Kong, I was transferred 3 years later to New York, where I spent 28 years of my life. And then I moved to 3 weeks ago. I was reassigned to Dubai 3 weeks ago, so I'm freshly out of Dubai.
Do you think that living in Dubai is going to affect the way that you continue to create fragrances?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's one of the reasons why I accepted this opportunity. It's I like the idea. I mean, I feel that any creative job, it becomes very, very dangerous when you are too much in a comfort zone. And I think you need to reach a point, and it's not me telling. I think David Bowie said it way better than me when he said, you know, you need to feel like you're almost going to drown, and you just...
The best art comes out.
Exactly. Putting you at a moment where you feel in danger and you're not sure if you're going to be able to breathe, and your head is slightly above water. That's
how you grow.
Exactly. That's how you grow. That's what forces you out of your comfort zone. That's what makes you better.
And last question for you, Pascal. Mm-hmm. You have accomplished over 150 fragrances that the world knows, probably more. What haven't you accomplished yet that you want to accomplish?
Well, it goes back to your question, quite frankly. The fact that I've accepted to move to Dubai, and the fact that for me, it's a brand new chapter in my life. And I consider that I start from scratch. So this is, I mean, for me, the biggest adventure. And it's at a point in my life where there is also a different goal than I had 30 years ago, clearly. But it's also the opportunity to work with different people that have a different vision of what fragrance is, and to learn from that as well, to expand my horizon, to hopefully develop also my creativity to a different level, right. To grow from that. But also now I'm reaching a point where part of my job is to also train the next generation. And to make sure that the next generation of perfumer start their career with the right tool and understanding, and are ready to fight, and are ready to basically make that industry shine even brighter for the years to come. And that's now part of my job.
I cannot wait to see what's happening next. I cannot wait. Thank you both so much.
Welcome.
You've been very gracious.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
see
you.
you on the next one, ladies and gentlemen.